Hey, this is Basketball Talk 77, and today's video is my second round predictions for Western Conference. And we'll be having two matchups in this video, Rockets, Lakers, and the Clippers, Nuggets. And this will be the final video of the second round. Soon, because the first round is over, we'll do a video detailing how I did with my first round predictions, and if you haven't heard the point systems, I'll explain it in that video. But just to give you a heads up, that'll come out soon, so keep an eye open. Anyway, let's just start up with our first matchup, Rockets-Lakers. Now, I'm going to call this Lakers in 7. Now, the reason I say this is because even though, in my opinion, the Rockets are a better team, the Lakers are more disciplined. The Rockets, honestly, could beat the Lakers. They have the talent to do it. The problem is, number one, Russell Westbrook hasn't been playing well, because he just came off an injury, and he isn't always the greatest in the playoffs. And number two, I was watching the Rockets Thunder Game 7 that was a few days ago, and as I was watching it, I noticed both teams just seemed so undisciplined and frantic. The Rockets felt almost a little unorganized. And I'm not going to say they're completely unorganized, but it just seemed so out of control. Meanwhile, you have the Lakers, who may not be a more talented team per se, but they do have LeBron James. In fact, I could see the Lakers going down 3-2 in this series, or 2-1. But because they're more disciplined, and they have LeBron James, who is usually a constant, they're going to make it past the series. Remember, the way the Rockets beat the Bucks was they played their super good defense. I mean, not defense, super good offense. And they clogged the lane and hoped the Bucks shooters wouldn't hit anything down, and they didn't. And they got lucky. They don't have to get lucky with the Lakers because the Lakers are bad at shooting. However, with Russell Westbrook playing badly, which I imagine he will, they won't be able to have that world-class offense, especially since the Lakers, although offensively, in my opinion, they've been struggling, defensively, they're still holding it down. Which means that even if the Rockets are able to stop the Lakers on the defensive end, the Lakers will be able to stop the Rockets on the defensive end, which means that I could even see these games being low scoring because of the good defense. And of course, I probably shouldn't say that since I also said with my Heat prediction it's going to be one of the best series, and then the Heat swept the Pacers, and it wasn't very entertaining. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, in the end, the Lakers have LeBron James, and even if all else fails, I trust 35-year-old LeBron James over, 32-year-old James Harden any day of the week, especially if, again, he doesn't have a co-star. Because Russell Westbrook, even normally, has never been the greatest playoff player. His emotions get the best of him, and that just contributes to the fact that they're kind of undisciplined and kind of frantic. Russell Westbrook, extremely emotional playoff players on the team. And I definitely think that if James Harden has to do it alone, even if the Rockets do go up 2-1, 3-2, by the end of the series he's going to be gassed because he has to carry the offense. And when that happens, playoff LeBron James will play. Now, will he get really tired out? Maybe. But I still think he'll be able to take the series. So, yeah, because of LeBron James and the fact that the Lakers' defense is great and the Rockets' offense is a little bit weakened, and the fact that the Rockets seemed a little undisciplined, I'm gonna call this Lakers in 7. Our next matchup is Nuggets Clippers. Now I'm gonna call this Clippers in 6. The reason for this is that the Clippers are just a championship team, and the Nuggets, although they do have good players, they have Jamal Murray in the Game 7 was not as great as he was before, and it could be that he's a little bit gassed. And I wouldn't be surprised if you go for 4 40-plus point games in a row to try to get your team out of the first round. You're probably not going to have a lot of energy for your second round. And there, he was the leading scorer for the Nuggets in most of those games. And then you have Nikola Jokic. Obviously, he is still going to dominate because of the lack of size on the Clippers. They have no star that's like a center/power forward. But he's probably going to dominate. But again, that's not really enough. The Nuggets aren't very good at defense. And so that's gonna be hard for them, especially since they just came out of a 7-game series and they're pretty tired. The Clippers have had a few days of rest. The Nuggets have had 1 day of rest after they won their Game 7 before they have to play Game 1 against the Clippers. So, meanwhile, the Clippers got the day of rest after their Game 6 victory over the Mavericks, and then another 2. So the Clippers have more rest, and that means that the Nuggets defense is going to be even more tired, while the Clippers offense is going to be even more fresh. And that will lead the Clippers to probably doing very well on the offensive end. And then, of course, Nikola Jokic will dominate, but the Clippers defense is still pretty good. However, since they are a very good perimeter defense team and not as much a good interior defense team, I imagine there'll be a lot of high-scoring games. But in the end, the Clippers are just a dominant team. And with a good play of Kawhi Leonard and maybe Paul George, I think they'll be able to close it out in 6. So that's the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, then give it a like. And if you want to see more of this, then subscribe and turn on notifications. Of course, the second round, or my second round predictions, are over with this video, but there are still the conference finals and finals to do. Also, just so you guys know, I will be submitting my video that details how my first round predictions went soon after this video is submitted. So you'll be able to see how many points I got. And if you aren't familiar with the point system because you hadn't seen the videos which I explained it, then I'll explain it to you again when we get there. And this is the last of the second round predictions, as I said. And it's also the end of this video. So, like, subscribe, and see you next time.